Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Nature Journal. So today I'm going to be doing a painting based on the Goat Island trip from last week. This landscape is going to be part of my paint along tutorials on Patreon. So if you're interested in learning how to create a little landscape like this for your journal, come along to my Patreon where you can find the full video, where I go through everything in detail, including the materials you'll need and the entire process in real time from start to finish. So now I'm quite happy with the little sketch I've laid down. I've made a decision about the composition. I've merged a few photos together to create something that I'm happy with and that makes me feel like this is my memory of this particular day. The next stage is to start putting in the lines. So when you're going in with your pen, follow the lines that you've laid out with the pencil as much as you can, because the pencil stage is where you get to make sure that everything's right and where you want it. By the time you're going in with the pen, you want to be quite confident that you've got the layout how you want it, and that confidence is going to improve the marks that you're making. Just removing all of those pencil marks now they're no longer needed. I'm quite happy with my lines as they are. So I'm mixing together just a little bit of turquoise and a bright blue. So I want to find a nice bright blue colour for this gap in the clouds up here. Now I tend to like to find the colours that I'm using at all of the different points where it appears in the picture. So this improves the efficiency of the painting. So I find everywhere in which this colour seems to appear. So it looks like, you know, there's little bits of sort of turquoisey colour in between all the clouds, which I quite like. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this purple to do the distant cliffs in the background. I'm also going to use the purple in the sky. So it's kind of a purplish, it's sort of a dark purple grey colour. Now one thing that I will do, and I quite often do with my landscapes at the end in here, is go over the areas of highlights of white with my white pen right at the end after everything's dried. That's going to bring out the areas of highlight in this sky. And remember that this is a quick landscape to get a flavour of a place, so you don't need to spend ages on it. So just one brown will do, in other words. Don't worry too much about mixing and mixing and mixing for these. So we've got to allow that brown layer to dry. So next we're going to do the anthills. I'm going to draw in with my paintbrush the bottoms of the darkest areas, should I say, of the anthills. So if we do this first and then let it dry, and then when we lay the green over all of this, this will show through because it's a darker colour. And now I'm going to give all of that a moment to dry. So now that this has dried, I'm going to finish off the sky with some highlights in the clouds. So I'm filling in any areas where you can see too much of the yellow background. And I'm bearing in mind that I want to be making it realistic, so putting it where the sun would be shining on the tops of the clouds. I think that I could afford just a little bit more colour in the sea, so I'm adding that. So the shadows where this shrub is probably the very darkest spot in the entire picture. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow to a couple of the anthills as well. Last step, I'm going to paint green all the way over the top. So I'm going to paint it over the top of everything where there is grass. So the nice thing here is we can see that the colours that we laid on, the darker colours, are shining through, plus that yellow is also coming through. I use this kind of layering a lot. It really saves time. So there we are, I've just got to let this one dry. And I think it's come out as quite a nice little landscape and a nice memory of my little trip out last week. Remember that you can find that longer tutorial on Patreon. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.